I pulled up to my son's house on Christmas Day, arms full with a homemade apple pie, its cinnamon crust aroma still warm from 4 hours of careful baking. I was ready for laughter, clinking glasses, and family, until my daughter-in-law, Melissa, blocked the doorway like a bouncer at an exclusive club. "No space for you," she said, her voice cold as the December wind. Then she pointed to a plastic plate on the porch, piled with turkey scraps and a stale roll. "Eat there like a stray." I chuckled, the sound surprising even me. Sweetheart, strays are loyal. Unlike some. I whipped out my phone and fired off the photos I'd hoped never to use. Melissa cozying up with her boss during her so-called late nights. If you're listening to this, drop a comment and tell me where you're tuning in from. Let me share how a 67-year-old grandma learned to fight fire with fire. I'm Dorothy Hamilton, and after 3 marriages, 2 divorces, and losing my husband, I thought I'd tasted every shade of family chaos. But standing on the porch at 2047 Maple Street, pie in hand, I realized cruelty has no bottom. The house gleamed like a holiday postcard. White columns, red door, wreaths sparkling in every window, all thanks to Melissa's colonial remodel, paid for by my son Daniel's new title as regional sales manager. It could have been a Martha Stewart dream, but the woman inside had a heart like a deep freezer. Melissa stood there in a burgundy dress that screamed money, her blonde hair pulled tight, like her patience for me. "Why are you here?" she asked, as if I'd crashed a stranger's party. I blinked, stunned. "Daniel invited me last week. It's Christmas dinner." She shifted, blocking the door. Through the gap, I glimpsed a dining table set for 8. All crystal and gold rims, no spot for me. "Melissa, I brought Daniel's favorite pie," I said, holding it up, hoping to soften her. Her smile could have sliced through steel. "How sweet, but we're packed. The Andersons are here, plus Daniel's colleagues and their spouses. No room." In a 6-bedroom house with a dining room fit for a dozen, her words landed like a slap. I kept my voice steady, years of wrangling rude customers at the department store kicking in. Maybe I could wait in the kitchen. Her tone turned patronizing, like she was explaining taxes to a toddler. "This is a business dinner, Dorothy. You'd be out of place with all the corporate chatter." From inside, I heard Daniel's laugh, my boy, who once clung to me during storms, who swore no one would come between us. He was 30 feet away, oblivious, while I stood there like a rejected salesman. "Can I at least talk to him?" I asked. "He's busy with Mr. Patterson from corporate," Melissa said, glancing back. Then she vanished for a minute, returning with a foil-covered plate, scraps of dark meat and dry stuffing. She set it on the porch by the blessed family doormat and pointed. "Eat there if you're starving, like a good pup." The words froze in the air. A pup. She'd planned this. The guest list, the plate, the humiliation, to show me I was nothing. That's when I laughed, not out of bitterness, but at her sheer gall. "Pups are loyal," I said, pulling up the photos I'd snapped last Tuesday, skipping book club to tail her car. "They don't sneak off with their married bosses every week." I showed her the screen, Melissa and Mr. Thompson checking into the Marriott, then kissing in the elevator. "Should I text these to Daniel, or do you want to explain your overtime yourself?" Her face went white as snow. For once, she had no comeback. I hit send and Daniel's phone pinged inside. A chair scraped the floor. 30 seconds later, he appeared, clutching his phone like it might explode. "Mom," he croaked. "What are these?" Melissa lunged for the device, but he dodged. Inside, the dinner chatter, stock tips, golf stories, faded to silence. Daniel's eyes flicked from the photos to his wife, then to me, still holding my pie. "Explain why Mom's out here with a paper plate," he said, voice low. "Or why you're sneaking around with your boss." Melissa stammered.
"It's not what it looks like. She's spying, trying to ruin us."
I raised my voice for the guests to hear. "Ruin you? Honey, I'm 67. All I'm jealous of is folks who keep their self-respect." Daniel stared at the plate on the porch, then at Melissa. You made my mother eat outside. A prank. Mr. Patterson appeared, wine in hand. Everything okay? We're ready for dessert. Daniel's gaze didn't waver. Dinner's done, Tom. Mrs. Anderson's voice cut through from the dining room. Is that Daniel's mom out there? Why isn't she with us? I stepped inside, holding up the plate. No room at the table, apparently. But Melissa made sure I had a spot. On the porch, the room gasped. Mrs. Anderson froze, wine glass mid-sip. Mr. Patterson's smile turned to shock. The perfect hostess had just served her own downfall. The unfamiliar young pair traded looks that said it all about hosts who discarded aging moms like forgotten pets. Oh my goodness. Mrs. Anderson murmured under her breath. Melissa, tell me you didn't really. It was all a mix-up, Melissa replied, but the words rang hollow, her polished facade cracking before our eyes. Daniel raised his phone like evidence in a trial. And these snapshots, just another mix-up. He angled the display for the room to see. From my spot in the entryway, their expressions blurred into shadow, but the hush that fell was thunderous. Mr. Patterson placed his wine glass down with measured precision. I believe Margaret and I ought to head out. Count me in, the young lady added. I'd yet to catch her name. This seems like something best handled in private. In moments, the gathering unraveled like a threadbare sweater. Folks snatched up coats and bags with the frantic speed of evacuees, murmuring stiff goodbyes and vague, until next times, all while steering clear of Melissa's gaze. Once the final door click echoed, Daniel shut it firmly and slumped against the wood. Melissa lingered amid her flawless living room, the wreckage of her holiday feast scattered like fallen leaves, half-eaten plates, crumpled napkins, a feast turned fiasco. 15 years? Daniel murmured, his tone laced with quiet grief. 15 years wed, and this is my reward, you shaming my mom on our own stoop while chasing someone else. Daniel, wait, Melissa pleaded once more. Give me a chance to clear up those images. It's not the story they tell. Then spell it out, he pressed, closing the distance, his resolve hardening. Why the hotel check-ins with your superior? Why was mom relegated to scraps on the porch while you schmoozed my colleagues? I might have jumped in then, spilling every detail from the shadows I'd watched these past half year. But no, this wasn't my stage any longer. It was Daniel's awakening, his veil lifting on the stranger he'd vowed to cherish. Those stays were strictly professional. Melissa insisted, her excuses tumbling out. Private client huddles, nothing more. Daniel's chuckle cut sharp, devoid of mirth. In suites with full nights ahead. Mom's got proof from half a dozen outings. 6, Melissa, 6. Her complexion blanched. The extent of my quiet vigil had blindsided her. The truly heartbreaking twist. Daniel went on, his voice steady now. Had you simply sought an end to us, I'd have split it fair and slipped away without a fuss. But no, you torched my bond with Mom to cover your wandering heart. Who does that make you? Melissa scanned the space, eyes darting like a cornered animal, the trees' glow flickering like a silent jeer amid her lavish ornaments. Daniel, I adore you, she gasped, desperation cracking her poise. We'll mend this. Therapy, a getaway, anything. Don't let your mom tear us apart. That's when I'd reached my limit. Melissa, I interjected, my words light as fresh snow. I haven't wrecked a thing. You managed that solo, the instant you started discarding kin, like trash to frolic with your side interest. She spun toward me, fury blazing raw in her stare. This is your doing, all of it. You've schemed to split us from our wedding day. Have I now? I mused, arching a brow. Funny, I recall pitching in on your ceremony, throwing your shower, even minding your niece and nephew, so you two could steal a quiet evening. Guess supporting loved ones is the mark of a meddlesome hag. Daniel eyed his spouse as if beholding a ghost. Is that your honest take on my mom? The query lingered, thick as fog, while Melissa floundered for a retort that wouldn't seal her fate further. In that hush, as she clawed for footing, a truth settled deep. After 3 long years, the dread of drifting from my boy had lifted. I was on the cusp of reclaiming him whole. The quiet dragged until Melissa rallied, squaring up to Daniel with fresh fire. "Your mom's twisted this household for ages," she declared. "She hides behind that doting granny act, but she's a puppet master, clingy, overbearing. She resents your bliss in marriage." I nearly saluted her nerve. Nearly. Twisted how precisely? Daniel probed. The endless rings, the drop-ins, her grilling every choice I make. Melissa surged ahead, volume climbing. "She chips away at my say-so here. Every chance she gets." "Your say-so." I couldn't resist. "Melissa, this isn't some throne room. It's meant to be home. A shared one." "There." She jabbed a finger my way, victorious. "That's it exactly. She won't yield the reins to me as lady of the manor." Daniel massaged his brow, strain-etching lines there. "Lady of the manor. What fresh nonsense is that? It means your spouse ranks first." Melissa shot back. "Not your parent. A guy forsakes his folks to bond with his bride." Straight from the good book. I stared, caught off guard. Melissa had always treated faith like a Rolodex for schmoozing, never a guiding light. Quoting verses to excuse straying on your vows. I ventured. Crimson flooded her cheeks. "I haven't strayed." Daniel brandished the phone and you. "Photos don't lie, Melissa. You locked lips with another. Care to rename it?" It was a slip," she faltered. "Tom's divorce wrecked him. I was just consoling." Harmless, truly. Harmless across 6 hotels. Fleeting flings, now kaput. Daniel drifted to the pane, gazing at the neighbors' merry lights. A snapshot of ordinary joy, the sort he'd chased with her. "When did you morph into this enigma I can't fathom?" He wondered softly. The words pierced her armor. For a beat, remorse flickered true. "Daniel, I never intended the spiral," she confessed, tone gentling. "The fling, the barbs at your mom. It snowballed unplanned." "Snowballs don't roll solo, Melissa. Choices carve the path." She edged nearer, hand outstretched in plea. "I own my errors. Let's patch it. Sessions, a trip, a clean slate." "And Mom?" That halted her cold. What of her? Planning to own the porch stunt. The degradation on Christmas. Her glance darted to me, then him. Wheels turning for the winning line. "If it mends us," she conceded at last. "If it mends us." Daniel pivoted from the glass. "Melissa, regret isn't a bargaining chip. It's owning the H you've sown." "I do regret," she pressed. "Dorothy, forgive me for bruising your pride." The outdoor bit was out of line. I held her gaze, weighing the flimsiest remorse I'd endured, and I'd fielded gems. "Melissa," I replied, deliberate and kind. "Grasp you why that crossed a line. Sore, cruel, pointless. But the why?" Confusion clouded her. "It stung you." Daniel winced, the gap glaring. "No," I softened. "It demeaned a soul to subhuman. It stripped dignity in frailty's hour. It picked venom over grace, which cost zilch." I apologized. She huffed. "Words mimicking remorse aren't the deed." Daniel sank into his worn armchair. The one she'd eyed for swaps to fit her scheme thrice over. "Melissa, do you cherish me?" "Without question." "Esteem me?" A telltale pause betrayed her. "Absolutely." "Then why wager I'd stomach you scorning my mom? What sort of partner did you peg me for?" The query floored her. In her ledger, this feud was mine alone, blind to its stain on him. I figured. "And you'd back my need for space," she murmured. "Space." His laugh turned jagged. "Melissa, she solo parented me post. Dad's passing, juggled shifts to fund my degree. Nursed my flu last winter while you spa, hop." "What space?" begged, claiming. "She meddles in our union." "How, pray tell?" Melissa hunted the air for ammo. She. In dials too often, weakly even. Drops wisdom, unasked. Such as. Her spark dimmed, specifics evaporating. She. "What, Melissa?" "She cares." Fiercely. Melissa's words tumbled out sharp and fast, but the instant they landed, Regret flashed across her face. No. I mean, you let me dismiss Mom's suspicions when she hinted your late nights were piling up. You let me weave excuses for skipping Sunday suppers. You let me pick between you and her, knowing you were hiding the truth. A voice cut through. Tom's, abrupt on her phone. Melissa, I've got to run. Linda's lawyer's on the line. We'll catch up soon. The call dropped, leaving a hollow click. Melissa crumpled onto the sofa. Her pristine holiday ensemble suddenly creased, like her composure. Daniel, please, let me lay it all out. All of it. Daniel settled across from her. Eyes steady. Fine. Start with why you thought it was okay to shame my mom on Christmas while sneaking around with your boss. Those are separate matters. She insisted, voice tight. Are they? Daniel countered. Because to me, they both scream you believing you can walk over folks with no fallout. I stood there, captivated. My boy had unearthed a steal I hadn't seen in years, and it was breathtaking to witness. The thing with your mom, Melissa began, picking her words like stepping through a minefield, was about drawing lines. She's been meddling in our marriage from the jump. Meddling how? Daniel pressed. She pokes at my choices, tosses out suggestions for our lives, acts like this place is still hers. Daniel's gaze swept the living room. It was hers. I bought it from her when she moved to the condo. Or did you forget she cut us a deal that saved us $60,000? Melissa seized the point like a lifeline. Exactly. She dangles that over us, always has. Dangles. I interjected softly, genuinely puzzled. Melissa, when have I ever mentioned that money? You didn't need to. She shot back. It's woven into every word you say. Look how generous I was, how much I saved you. I blinked, stunned by her revisionist spin. In all my days, I'd never heard such a bold rewrite of reality. Melissa, I said, calm as a winter morning, name one time I brought it up. She faltered, eyes darting. Daniel shook his head. That's not Mom's style. She's straight up. If she's got something to say, you hear it plain, like today. I nodded, picking up the thread. When I had proof of your wife's betrayal, I didn't hint or hedge. I showed you the photos, cold, hard truth. Melissa's cheeks blazed. Because you're spiteful, eaten up with envy. Spiteful. I weighed the word, tilting my head. Maybe. Envious. Of what, her marriage? Daniel's joy? That he picked you over me. The room fell silent, the Christmas carols on the stereo seeming to hush in respect. Melissa, Daniel said, slow and deliberate. I never picked you over Mom. I chose a life with you that included her. Big difference. Melissa's voice cracked, sharp with accusation. But regret shadowed her eyes instantly. No, I mean, you let me brush off Mom's worries when she flagged your endless late nights. You let me spin reasons for ditching Sunday meals. You let me choose you over her, knowing you were deceiving me. A buzz cut her off. Tom's voice, curt through the phone. Melissa, I'm out. Linda's lawyer's calling. We'll talk. Later. The line died, leaving silence. Melissa slumped onto the couch. Her festive outfit now wilted, like her crumbling defenses. Daniel, please, let me explain it all. All of it. He sank into the chair opposite. Gaze unyielding. Start with why you thought it was fine to degrade my mom on Christmas while sneaking around with your boss. Those are separate issues, she insisted, voice brittle. Really? Daniel shot back. Because to me, they both say you think you can trample people without a price. I watched, spellbound. My son's newfound spine was a sight to behold, radiant and fierce. The thing with your mom, Melissa ventured, words cautious, was about setting limits. She's been in our business since we said I do. How so? Daniel pressed. She's second, guesses my choices, nudges us on how to live, acts like this house is still hers. Daniel scanned the room. It was hers. I bought it from her when she got the condo, remember? She slashed the price by $60,000 to help us out. Melissa pounced. Exactly. She holds that over us, Always has. Holds it. I interjected, soft but firm. Melissa, when did I ever mention that money? You didn't need to, she snapped. It's baked into every word. Look how kind I was, how much I saved you. I blinked, floored by her audacity to rewrite our past. Name one instance, I said gently. She faltered, gaze darting. Daniel shook his head. Mom doesn't play those games. She's up front. If she's got something to say, you hear it. Like today. I nodded. When I had proof of your wife's betrayal, I didn't drop hints. I showed you the photos. Straight up truth. Melissa's face flushed crimson.
Because you're bitter and envious.
Bitter. I mused, tilting my head. Maybe. Envious. Of what? Your marriage. Daniel's happiness. That he chose you over me. The room stilled, even the Christmas tunes seeming to pause. Melissa, Daniel said, voice low, I never chose you over Mom. I chose a life with you that included her. That's not the same. Melissa's tears spilled anew, raw and ragged. I just wanted things to feel a different how. Daniel pressed, his voice soft but piercing. I wanted to feel like I mattered, chosen, the center of someone's world. You were my world, Daniel said, quiet but firm. Not my only world, though. That's not how it works, Melissa. People have families, friends, lives. Grown-ups don't demand to be someone's universe. I looked at this woman who'd shadowed my life with misery for 3 years, and for the first time, pity stirred. Not absolution, but sorrow for someone who'd torched her own future chasing a mirage. Melissa, I said gently, making someone your everything is a crushing weight, not love. It's ownership. Her eyes widened, as if she'd forgotten I was there. Real love, I went on, wants your person to thrive, surrounded by others. It doesn't shrink them to prop you up. But I wanted to feel extraordinary, she whispered. You were, I replied. Daniel's wife, part of our family. You tossed that away because it didn't suffice. Tom, who'd lingered silently, nodded grimly. She's right. I threw away 2 years of marriage chasing the thrill of youth. Now Linda's divorcing me, my job's on the line, and I'm parked in a supermarket lot on Christmas night with nowhere to go. He turned to Melissa. Was it worth it? She had no answer. Daniel drifted to the Christmas tree, its lights glinting like silent reproaches. When he faced her again, his expression was set. Melissa, pack a bag. Find somewhere else to stay tonight. Daniel, please, she begged. I need time to think, he said. And you need to sort out the credit card mess and HR fallout. Where do I go? Her voice cracked. That's on you to figure out. Tom shuffled toward the door. You can't crash with me. Linda changed the locks. Melissa's face fell, the full weight of her unraveling life hitting hard. No husband, no lover, likely no job by sundown tomorrow. What about Christmas? She asked, voice small. What about it? Daniel countered.